Welcome back to Lock and Reload. If you've been paying attention to my channel, I've been doing a lot of gear reviews on the Ruger 1022. Not necessarily the 1022 itself, but a lot of the aftermarket parts, whether it would be a stock kit like the Archangel 556 kit or the Elam Arms barrel. That's a heavy target barrel, by the way. I went ahead and put a heavy target barrel on this because the muzzle attachment or the fake flash hider with the Picatinny rail on here to go ahead and mount your front sight, I thought it was a little goofy, so I have a review on this Elam Arms barrel, so stay tuned. That video will be up shortly. Anyways, this is my Archangel 556 kit. Again, you know, nothing extravagant. This is the standard kit, but we're not here reviewing this. There's already a video on this. What we are going ahead and doing an overview on, and then we'll go ahead and take these things out to the range, are some magazines that I got. And if you've been paying attention to my channel at all, I've found some magazines that work, and I've found some magazines that not so much. They didn't work very well. So I'm trying to find a magazine that does work well, and so far it's pretty much hit and miss. As you can tell, Shooter's Ridge, it's hit and miss with them, but they do have good customer service regardless. So they're going to warranty some of my magazines that I had very poor luck with. Anyway, the products that we're going to bring to the table is the Archangel AA922 25 round magazine. ProMag went ahead and sent me 2 of them. Now they also went ahead and they were generous and went ahead and sent me 2 mag clamps, and these are their AA922 magazine clamps, and they come 2 in a pack, and the magazines come 1 in a pack, obviously. Basically, this is my overview on what I absolutely love and like about the magazine, and some of the discrepancies that I can foresee that I dislike about them. And right off the bat, we'll go ahead and pull one out of the packaging. And mind you, I did pull these out of the packaging beforehand. When I held it, it feels rock solid. The one big feature that I like about this magazine, this one is made in the United States. These, by the way, are about $25 a copy. We will find out if your $25 is and that's by the way, that's $25 right off of ProMag's website. We'll find out if $25 is a good dollar value for these magazines. So stay tuned. We'll have some range videos on these magazines to see if they do perform and they hold up. Now, some of the features that I love about it is made out of, the polymer material is made out of the same material that all the Archangel kits are made out of. These are made out of a high density polymer, which makes these very, very durable. So I like the fact that it's made out of a high density plastic or a high density polymer, so it makes for very durable and very rugged. Another feature that I do like about them, and I believe these are stainless steel magazine detents, or the magazine lugs that fit right up into the magazine. They're very solid, positive lockup into the gun. Yeah, because if you go ahead and put it in, it fits very, very nicely into your Ruger 1022, and if it fits in the Archangel kit, which that's what it is designed for, most of the Archangel kits, whether it be your 556 kit or it would be the Marauder kit, or also known now as the Nomad kit. And there's reasons why they went and changed that name, but that's neither here nor there. On the bottom here, this thing has a floor plate. I have never seen this on any 1022 magazine, or let alone 22 magazines in general. They have a removable floor plate. They have a a spring retention button on here like normal 4 plates on, you know, pistol mags or your AK mags, where you go ahead and, you know, you take a bullet or you take a screwdriver, you push that in, and then this floor plate slides off, and then obviously your spring assembly comes out. I have no need to take this apart on video because this is a brand new magazine. And again, this is a 25 round magazine. These are called the AA922 magazines, made by Archangel Development for the Ruger 1022. The feed lips on here, for whatever reason, if you shoot the crap out of these and the feed lips either break or they go ahead and they just wear out, you can actually pull the feed lip head right off. Not the whole head, just the feed lips. You just pry that off and it comes off, and you can go ahead and replace that, which I find really cool. It all depends on how much the actual second set of feed lips cost. Now, if it's more than the actual magazine, which I can't imagine that they are, it's cheaper just to go ahead and buy a new magazine. So we'll find that out. I'll go ahead and either purchase them or contact ProMag and see what they can do for me, just to find out, you know, the price value on those. The follower in here is made out of the same high density polymer as the actual magazine and the actual, you know, 5.56 kit, or the Nomad kit, or whatever Archangel has out on the market. They have an extra spring on there. I don't know if you can see that, but there's an actual extra catch spring. I'm not sure if that's what you call it, but that's what I call it. Basically, when you have a round, or when you have this thing fully loaded, because again it holds 25 rounds, you have the top round that kind of sits on top, ready to be fed. Well, that retention spring holds the rest of them in place and keeps them perfectly aligned for positive feeding. I like that option. I'll find out if, you know, those fatigue over time, but if they do, I'm assuming the new feed lip heads that you can get, I'm assuming you get new springs with that as well. I mean, these magazines are very simple in design. And so far from what I see, you know, they appear to be high dollar value for not a lot of money, because you can get the same cost in another magazine like the Shooter's Ridge 30 round double stack magazine, which their first generation we deemed not very reliable. So as we sit, this seems to be a very good magazine. So let's go ahead and adaptate these mag clamps, and I'll go ahead and put them on and show you how that works, and show you the simple techniques on going ahead and putting those on. But before we go ahead and do that, there's one last thing I did forget to mention. In the instructions on the break-in period of these magazines, alright, that's my first qualm. No magazine, in my eyes, should need a break-in period. Like my M&P magazines for my Smith & Wesson M&P, I didn't have a break-in period with those. Those worked right out of the box. And then they will keep running until I wear out a spring or a follower. But right out of the box, those go ahead and they function the way they should. ProMag states that these need a break-in period, and they have their certain ways to going ahead and breaking these in. They could break in anywhere from 5 to 100 rounds of ammunition. I have a qualm with that, because again, no magazine should necessarily need a break-in period, but then again, I understand their philosophy behind it, because Ruger 1022s, they may be made identically to the same specifications, but they all are very unique. They all have their quirks about them. So it's man-made, so generally you might have an imperfection. They all wear a little different, but yet they're all made the same, if that makes any sense. So that's where I can see the break-in period, because it's not so much breaking in the magazine, it's putting some wear on the magazine, so the magazine essentially fits your gun and is tailored to your gun. And that's the one thing I like about polymer feed lips over steel feed lips, is they don't wear down any metal parts like a steel feed lip. But you know, it's a matter of opinion. I personally like steel feed lips just because it doesn't wear out the head, but seeing that they go ahead and offer, you know, aftermarket feed lips, you know, it is what it is. Anyway, they have the break-in period. Now, when they state a break-in period, when you have a fully loaded magazine, they state in the instructions that you need to go ahead and hold the bolt open with the bolt hold open or the bolt release. And when you have your ammunition in, you put the magazine in during the break-in period with the bolt held open, and then you go ahead and charge it. And you do that, you know, anywhere from 5 to 100 rounds of ammunition. Which I can understand, because again, it's tailoring the magazine to the gun, because every gun is a tad bit different. Every gun wears a little different in certain spots, imperfections and whatnot. Everything's man-made. But they state after that, after the break-in period, after, you know, everything's working the way it should, you should be able to go ahead, put the magazine in, and rack the slide, and you theoretically should be good to go. So take it for what it's worth. Now, before we go ahead and show you everything on a mag clamp, the one product from Shooter's Ridge that I absolutely love is the Shooter's Ridge magazine loader. Now we're going to go ahead and see if the Archangel AA922 25 round Ruger 10/22 magazine works with the Shooter's Ridge magazine loader. Because Shooter's Ridge states that it works with any Ruger 10/22 magazine. So, that being said, we'll go ahead and load a magazine to see if it works. You load it in like any other Ruger 10/22 magazine. So far it fits. Actually, it fits a little bit better than the actual Shooter's Ridge magazine. And you should be able to go ahead and load it. It's got some drag on it, a little bit more than usual. We'll load. Yep, and it's done. The Shooter's Ridge 10/22 magazine loader loads the Archangel AA922 25 round Ruger 10/22 magazine. The one thing, as I'm shooting this video, the one thing that has been brought to my attention looking at this magazine that can be a potential concern. And I don't know if I want to run it the way it is or do some tailoring on this. If you look at the feed lip on that, I don't know if you can see that, right on the front of the feed lip here, from the actual molding of the feed lip, there's a little bit of a catch. And I can foresee that being a potential problem. I could be overanalyzing it, but I could see that a potential problem with the nose of the bullet. I don't know if I'm going to go ahead and trim that before I take it out to the range, or I'm going to leave it as is. That could be a design flaw in the molding, or it's there intentionally. The reason I state that is because it's identical to both magazines. Both magazines are like that. I don't know if you can see that, but that does draw my concern. And so, like I stated, this is my overview. These are some of my concerns out in the field that I might run into. You know, again, I could be overanalyzing. It is what it is. So, to make a long story short, some of the cons that I see right off the bat is this retainer spring wearing out very quickly. This feed lip, the part of the feed lip where the bullet actually rides on, I can see that catching. That being said, I have a funny feeling that this magazine might flat nose a lot. Not entirely sure, but the only way to really, you know, find out if this is a good magazine to run and to either prove myself right or prove myself wrong to you guys is going ahead and running these. I'm probably just going to run them as is to give you a non-biased review without any tailoring or gunsmithing or fit and finishing. So let's go ahead and put both of these in the magazine clamps, and I'll go by the book as shooters, or as Archangel or ProMag's Archangel 920 or AA922 25 round 22 magazines instruction state for this magazine on how to go about staggering these in the mag clamps. So let's go ahead and put these in the mag clamps. And tools you're going to need is obviously the mag clamps, the mags, and a Phillips screwdriver. With these, they're a pretty simple design. These mag clamps, they're a magazine clamp. They're still made out of the same polymer as the actual magazine and the Archangel kit, so they're a high density polymers. So they're high speed and low drag. So with these have a retainer nut on the inside. Well, they have a nut on the inside, and then they've got the actual nut retainer to fit the nut, so you have a flush fit for the nut, so no slippage with the nut. So you just go ahead and you have to pull these off completely, and I'm probably going to speed up the video on how these go on, because I don't think you want to sit here and watch me put a magazine together, or magazine clamps together. So with these, it's just a matter of clamping them there, taking your second magazine. What I do is I start off with them flush with each other and then make adjustments later. You can use one magazine clamp or two, it's pretty much up to you. For all intents and purposes, I'm probably going to use both magazine clamps. They snap in. You have to take them apart to go ahead and snap in. So the rest of this is, it's self-explanatory, so I'm probably going to go ahead and speed this up. Alright, now that I've got these flush together to give you a starting point, you're going to want to stagger them because of the actual action of the actual 1022. In other words, I go ahead and hold the bolt open for fitting purposes of the magazine clamps for the magazine for, again, the Archangel AA922 25 rounder 1022 mags made by ProMag. Basically, keep the action in mind when you go ahead and take a rifle. Go ahead and see what one you got to stagger. Obviously, this right one has to be staggered down, and the left one has to be pushed up. So again, the right one has to be pushed down, and the left one either left where it is or pushed up. So what I do, from what I've seen, I'll push this down flush to the bottom part of the left magazine, and what I'll do is I'll actually push up the left magazine a little bit. And then what I'll do is push this one near the bottom. Your results may vary, but that's pretty much the layout. And then what I'll do is I'll go ahead and tighten these down. Tighten them down snug, not uber tight. These screws do strip out fairly easy, as I've noticed. This might just work well with one magazine clamp, but again, what you want to do is, the reason you want this one staggered is so it's well below the action. This one might be a little lower than I want to be, and then you go on the other side and you hit your release, you pull the magazine out. Like this one's a little higher than I'd like it. So basically I'm going to go ahead and lower that. You have just enough clearance to clear the actual kit. It's very, very, very tight, but it will clear. Some people will go ahead and leave it the way it is. I would probably go ahead and drop this one down a little bit for all intents and purposes, just because personal preference. But that, you get the general idea. And then go ahead and check your action, and it is what it is. Now just bear in mind, when you have the magazine clamps on here, I don't think you can use the Shooter's Ridge magazine loader with the magazines clamped together. I'll try to adaptate that in my next range video with trying out the kit in these magazines, so it is what it is. But anyway, this is the ProMag's Archangel Development. That's the division of ProMag. They're the people who develop, you know, the magazines, the actual kit, or kits, because they make two of them for the 1022 and a couple other firearms. Anyway, this is their AA12, or excuse me, AA922 25 round mag Ruger 1022 magazine. Also, the mag clamps are also the AA922 magazine clamps. If you have any questions, concerns, leave them at the bottom. Feel free to rate, subscribe, do what you got to do. This is Lock and Reload. As always, catch you later.
She said, I've got Napoleon complex. I don't know why, but I think she's right.